My name is Andy, and this is the most magical podcast on earth. When I'm not on holiday at Walt Disney World, I'm planning a holiday to Disney. And when I'm not planning a holiday to Disney, I'm talking about Disney, with other UK fans like me who make the trip to Orlando and the House of the Mouse. So whether you're a parks professional or a Florida first-timer, this is the podcast for you. Each episode, I'll be chatting to other Disney superfans to share memories of their magical times, answering your Walt Disney World questions, getting you all the latest news from the parks, and finding out what's happening right now in Orlando. So get your ears on as we take you to the most magical place on earth. This is the most magical podcast on earth, part of the Secret Recordings Network, back with a brand new episode. Every other Friday, we're here talking all things Disney World. So make sure, however you listen, whether it's Apple or Spotify or wherever, make sure you have subscribed so you know when there's going to be a brand new episode. Going to be chatting to Becky in just a moment. Like our last few guests, Becky has just got back from Disney World, so a lot of things to talk about with Becky. And of course, if you have just come back from Disney World and you'd like to come on the podcast for a chat, then get in touch. At Pod Magical is where you can find us across all the socials. We'll keep you updated with the news. We'll share a lot of Disney information on there. And that is where you can reach out if you'd like to be a podcast guest. Maybe you've just come back, or maybe you're going to be going soon. Maybe you've not been for a while. Let's get you on. Let's chat. And if, of course, you have any questions, whether it comes to planning or anything like that, like on the last episode, we were talking about brand new songs for Cosmic Rewind. Some interesting thoughts on that. Have a look at our socials, see what people thought. We have got Becky, though, very soon, who's just come back. And a question first. This comes from Jeanette, who says, can I do a Peter Pan meet and greet for my 4-year-old, and can my 4-year-old dress up as Peter Pan to go in the parks? Well, yes. Peter Pan does meet, usually around the Peter Pan ride, mostly around the afternoons, kind of like afternoon into early evening is where you can find Peter Pan. So around the corner, not where the queue is for the Peter Pan ride, but across from It's a Small World, tucked around the corner by the Tangled Toilets the other side. That's where you can find Peter Pan. And yes, your 4-year-old can dress as Peter Pan. You can't, but your 4-year-old can. Adults can dress up for the Halloween parties. But other than that, you have to be under the age of 14 to dress up as characters to go into any of the Disney parks. But yeah, get your little one dressed up, go and make Peter Pan, and then when you've got those pictures, those cute pictures, tag me and we can share them across the socials. At Pod Magical is where we are. Let's chat to Becky now. She's back. She's jet lagged and she's got the Disney blues, but she's going to get rid of the Disney blues because we're going to talk all about the trip. Fresh back from Walt Disney World. Welcome home, Becky. Welcome back.
Thank you. I am missing home, as in Disney, but it is nice to have my own bed again. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, yeah. This is not really home, is it? This is like your second home.
This is my second home. I'll go back to my home soon, hopefully.
So how was it? How long were you there for? Where did you stay? Tell me everything.
Oh, do you know what? It was just amazing. So we were there for 2 weeks. We went on the 9th of August. We kind of plan. I'm a teaching assistant, so I have to go during school holidays. And it kind of like affects when we can actually go.
Yeah.
So for us, as much as the weather is horrendous in August in terms of heat, because we're 4 pasty northerners who don't do the heat at all, like ridiculously, we choose to go the end of August just because it is the quietest time school-wise for America, because most American schools have gone back, most European schools have gone back, Scotland's gone back. So crowd-wise, it's a lot lower. And obviously compared to Christmas and Easter, which are much better weather-wise, the crowds just win it forward because then we don't have as much like overwhelmness, if that makes sense. So so we went for the last 2 weeks in August, and the first 10 days weather-wise were beautiful. It was like 35 degrees. You walked out and turned into literally a shower on your body because it was just hot, sweaty,
humid,
even like 8 o'clock in the morning. But the last 4 days, it was really rainy. Obviously, it's their wet season, so we kind of expected it, but it rained for about 6 hours a day. So it was very, very wet the last 4 days, but hey ho, one man who put ponchos on and cracked on.
Oh, you've got to. Ponchos and a croc and crack on.
All the way.
That's what we do. That's what we do. You mentioned you're a teaching assistant. Is this a cheaper time to go then? Because you can only go in school holidays. Have you found like the cheapest? Obviously, this is the quietest.
I think the price-wise, it was a little bit cheaper than going sort of the beginning of the school holidays, sort of like end of July time. I think a lot of people finish from school, especially like parents with families who want to get away and want to go straight away. It was a little bit cheaper to go the end of August, and it is cheaper again if you can fly from Scotland. because a lot of the Scottish schools, so I've had 3 sets of friends who were there at the same time, and 2 of them actually drove to Scotland to fly when we flew from Newcastle, because it was like a grand cheaper for a family.
Yeah.
So it
Is
does
that
save.
because the Scottish schools go back?
Yeah,
Go
so
back
they go
around
back
the same time as American schools then?
Yeah, I think basically most Scottish schools started going back about Monday the 11th.
Yeah.
Of August, which is very similar to the American schools, and almost to Florida. I've got a friend who lives like 2 miles from Disney. I'm so jealous. And her kids all went back the week that we arrived. So yeah, like one went back on the Tuesday, and then the younger one went back on the Thursday, I think, of that week. So by the second week of the holidays, there was a massive drop in crowds. And I know friends who went the Saturday after us from Newcastle got it slightly cheaper again, I think, because it is just a quieter time. So good time to go financially, I think, as well. You don't save loads, but every little counts, you know?
Every penny's every penny, is it? Every penny's a Mickey waffle, isn't it? So this is a good tip then. So if you live in the northeast, if you can drive up to Scotland, and if you go at the end of August, Scottish schools are back, American schools are back, it's quieter and a bit cheaper.
Yeah. So likewise, if you're in Scotland, they finish like early mid-July.
Yeah.
When England schools are still on. And I've got family who live in Scotland who drive down to Newcastle, not necessarily for Disney as per se, but fly from Newcastle Airport because it's cheaper than flying from Scotland, because the Scottish schools are off and we're not. So
it's a good hack, and not that far. Like it's like driving from the Midlands down to a London airport. It's much the same, isn't
pretty
it?
similar, yeah. So we tend to fly from Newcastle. It is more expensive. And we fly with TUI. The only airline that flies from Newcastle is TUI.
Yeah.
So they fly to Melbourne, Orlando International, not Orlando International. And it's about a 90-minute transfer from Melbourne to the parks. But for us, our closest airport would be either Edinburgh or Manchester. Now, the travel for us that way is actually longer. So even though it's a little bit more expensive and there's like a longer transfer on the other side, for us, we think it's just better for us as a family, because we get off the aeroplane and we're home within an hour.
Yeah.
So it's just, for us, we'd rather pay a little bit more and fly locally and travel further on the other side than having to travel on this side. But if you live closer to sort of Manchester, London, then they're definitely cheaper options in terms of flights and stuff.
If you're going with Virgin or BA. What's TUI like? I've never been to Florida with TUI.
Great. We've done it twice now with them. It's on the Dreamliner. There is a bit of a story I'm happy to share a bit later on about when we flew up this time. Basically, my husband ESTA was wrong when we've got a check-in. Oh, you've seen nothing like it, honestly. Do you want us to tell you now, or do you want us to...
Tell me now. What happened?
Bear in mind, my page was about sharing hints and tips for people going to Florida, to America and Disney and everything, and check this and check this. And when I'd put his date of birth in, so his birthday is the 28th, and I'd put it in, we'd checked it, went to press OK, everything went through fine, got approved. Didn't even think about it because it'd been approved, took the money, and when we got to check in, it had changed to the 31st. So all I can think, because I checked it, is that when we've got the drop down box, it's then dropped to the very bottom one when I've clicked out. But unlike if you get the name wrong, this is just a hint to people, unlike if you get the name wrong or the passport number wrong, you can instantly do a new ESTA on the website. Because his name and passport number were correct, we couldn't actually apply for a new ESTA. We had to have his cancelled because his name and passport number were linked to a current ESTA. So, yeah. And I've had a few people message saying it's happened to them.
Wow, happened something similar.
Oh, gosh, honestly, I managed to help a family when I was over there who were going through the same thing with their daughter, and they managed to fly the next day, which was, I thought, honestly. So basically, got to check in, and they're like, your ESTA's wrong, we can't let you board. And I was like, literally, when you say your stomach hits, you know, your below end, and I thought I was going to throw up. I was going dizzy. I had hot and cold sweats, and I was like, you have to let him on. And they basically said that the TUI procedures is that they can't release the boarding ticket unless you have.
You wouldn't get in the country though, would you? At the other end, though, that's probably the thing.
So then, this was 8 o'clock in the morning at Newcastle Airport, ringing what's it called, the US Embassy. We then rang border control in America. And luckily, I don't know how it happened, but luckily the guy who was checking me in, who works for Swissport, actually works for Big A at the same time. And he said, I've got a number for someone at Homeland Security who deals with like the actual ESTA team at Homeland Security who can cancel ESTAs. I'll try and ring them for you. So he rang and he said, okay, they can help, but they don't open till 11 o'clock UK time. And I was like, but we'll fly at 11. Like, we were due to fly at 11 o'clock. And I said, like, so we're like ill. And then we got the announcement the flight was being diverted, the one that was coming in, and it was having to stop at Shannon.
Right.
And they were like, right, you check in, the 3 of you, put your bags in. at 11 o'clock, the flight was going to be now 1 o'clock. Honestly, you check in and then
you don't mind a delay.
I know, and then at 11 o'clock, we'll ring this team and see if they can cancel the ESTA. And I was like, yeah, but how long does it take to cancel? Like, how long before we can reapply? How long does because the reapply can take 3 days to come through, like 72 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm Googling like flights the next day from anywhere in the UK, like literally anywhere to get in with her. So I got 11 o'clock and they said, look, you're going to have to go through security because if you don't and the flight turns around quickly, you're going to miss the flight. And obviously it's our fault, so we get no money back. So I'm sobbing, the kids are sobbing, my son wouldn't talk to us. And my husband's like, it's fine, thing happens for a reason. Don't. I said, what do you mean? We've saved 3 years for this holiday. Like, we have to go. So it was going to be me taking the 2 kids on my own and then him joining me. So then we get through departure, sat in the bar, crying at me, my glass of Coke. And I was like, and then we got the announcement the flight was delayed again until 2 o'clock. And then the announcement it was delayed again until 3 o'clock. And it kept getting pushed back. And like everyone around was going, oh, and I'm like, thank you. Keep delayed. So anyway, 11 o'clock come round. And then this Swiss port worker managed to ring Homeland Security, spoke to a supervisor there who escalated the cancellation. And then at 12:30, the cancellation came through to say it had been cancelled and didn't have a valid ESTA anymore. Right. So he could reapply. So then 12:30, he's then reapplying for this ESTA, which bear in mind can take 72 hours and we're flying at like 3 o'clock and it's 12:30 at this point.
Yeah.
He's by himself in departures. In check-in. I'm through in departures with the kids. And I was like, I can't do this. And the 2 staff were incredible. They kept coming in at departures to check on me and the kids. They stood with him at the desk. There was a staff member kept taking turns to come over and stand with him and reassure him and help him fill the forms. Not fill the forms in, but help him while he was filling the forms in, like keep him calm.
Yeah.
And the ESTA came through at 1:45, and he legged it through departure. The woman, when he showed her phone saying it's come through, she whipped his bag off him, had the ticket on, like running him through departures. And then as it happened, the flight was delayed until 4 o'clock anyway because there was an emergency in the airport.
Wow.
I know, honestly, the alarms were going off. Everyone's just sitting there, and I'm like, should we be leaving? Should we be doing something?
Did you set the alarm off? Did you hit the fire? Buy me another hour.
I was tempted, but no, it was just... So, as it happened, the flight ended up being 5 hours delayed. And during that 5 hours, we managed to get his ESTA cancelled and then reapplied and approved. And he got on the flight with her. And how it happened, like, I'm still... This is probably the first time I spoke about it and not felt sick because for the full 2 weeks, whenever someone said something, I literally turned white and I'd get ringing in my ears because the thought of him not coming with her. Honestly, but this is us. To be fair, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen to us. So,
well, I did similar last year. I did my ESTA and everything like that. In fact, it was an ESTA that I'd used at the beginning of the year. Now, I didn't realise that I'd got a new passport. Oh, and when you get a new passport, your ESTA is linked to your passport. And so I'd gone, it was like the day before, went to check in online. It wouldn't let me check in online. I thought, it's fine, that's happened before. Every now and then they'll do extra security. Got to the airport. Thankfully, it was about 4 hours before the flight. She went, you haven't got an ESTA? I went, no, I have. Look, have you printed it off? Look, I printed it. She went, no, have you changed your passport? I went, yeah. I went, you need to apply for a new one. And then you've got that point where you're sitting at the airport. Thankfully, I didn't have one, so I could just, I didn't have to wait for somebody to cancel it. And then you're sitting there flicking your emails. And it only took, because they said, it can take up to 72 hours, like you said.
Yeah.
But it was like within the hour. So we were still through with a couple of hours. But
honestly, well, they did say, to be fair, and when people say, check your ESTAs and stuff, and I was like, I've done it, we printed ours off with the wrong date of birth. And I was like, yeah, I've got it, look, it's fine. He's like, yeah, it's not fine. But the TUI staff did say it happens literally on every flight. There'll be at least one family who have this situation.
Yeah.
And I was like, but I feel so stupid and I felt so guilty. And they're like, honestly, people don't understand how frequently it actually happens. So it's a good tip for people. As much as you've checked them,
check again. Check more. And then the flight was all right. What's Melbourne Airport like? A lot of people really enjoy it.
Yeah, like I can't really compare because I've never done Orlando International before. So I kind of, I'm in my head, Orlando is like
busy.
Heathrow, and Melbourne is like a smaller Newcastle. That's how kind of I pictured it. So when we first arrived going outbound, the flight was lovely, really good. We paid for extra legroom seats because I'm now 6 foot, so I need like the bit of extra legroom. And then we got there, and I'm not kidding. I take like timestamps within the hour. We're off the plane. The suitcases were waiting. as we got off the plane. We were through security. So my children are autistic and they wear the sunflower lanyards, and the staff are really good at spotting hidden disabilities, as in like if you have like the lanyards and things on that they're partnered with too, which is great. As it happened, our bags came off first, so there was no line at security. The staff are really friendly. So we had security questions, but it just felt like you were having a conversation, like, oh, where are you going? Are you excited? What you can do when you get there? I didn't feel interrogated, which I know some people do comment about. And we're on the bus within the hour. The only thing that was a bit of a downside is that our bus had 40 passengers coming on, which was fine because we're all going to the same hotel. And that took about 40 minutes for everyone to get through security, get on the bus. So we were sat on the bus for quite a while before we then had the 90-minute journey on top.
Right, so even though you were first off the plane and first on the bus, you start to wait for everybody else.
I had to wait for a while,
It doesn't really make any difference.
Yeah, there's no getting around it, so yeah. But I think because they only have, like, when we were coming back home, there was only about 6 flights like scheduled to go out that day from the airport. So when we were in the airport, there was literally our flight, and then one of the there was the Manchester TUI flight was going out, left just before us. So I mean, it's all just, when we did in 2022, it was tiny. It had one little sandwich shop, it had one little tiki cocktail bar, and a Dunkin' Donuts, and hardly any seats. So they've since expanded. So when we went back this time, there's now a very small duty-free, kind of a paper shop type place. Then has a bar, which is a restaurant. It has a like a deli sandwich bar where you can go and get food to take and sit down with. There's still the Dunkin' Donuts, still the tiki bar. And there's also got a premium lounge, which is what we use because we've got a priority pass with the credit card.
Yes.
And that was, and obviously premium passengers get to use that as well. And that was lovely. It had like little hot snacks, cold snacks, drinks. And it was just, the whole place is, because it's very newly refurbished. It's very clean. It's very tidy. It's very spacious.
That
so yeah, I would 100% use that airport again. Even for the 90-minute transfer, it was worth it. So.
And your transfers included with TUI?
The package that we got, yes. So I think if you buy flights only, they're not. But we bought the whole thing as a package. So we booked, it was when the free dining offer was on. So we did get free dining, and that the money out we've saved, the pictures I've got that I've shared.
Seen them.
Have you seen them? Honestly, the things when we did it in 2022, it was amazing. But we just got we got a free dining card where you got like $800 towards dining. And you could buy whatever you wanted, which was great. But I felt quite restricted because I knew that when that $800 was gone, we then had to pay out of pocket for whatever else was spent. Whereas this time, my children are 13, so they're classed as adults. So it meant that they got an adult meal, an adult portion, and an alcoholic drink. Obviously, they weren't allowed to drink said drink.
But you'd have it.
But exactly. We could come home for us. So not lunchtime. We held it together a little bit.
Breakfast. Give me a
Maybe
motor.
I did one day with his roundup. I may have had an adult lemonade with breakfast one day, but just the one day. But it didn't mean like, so included dining plan was actually cocktails and things, which were worth about $20.
Mm-hmm.
So with one lunch, you could get 4 cocktails, which should have cost you $80, and then your food on top for free.
Yeah. So were you the actual dining plan or the quick service dining plan?
It was the quick service dining plan. Yeah. So again, because my children are neurospicy, they're really funny with their food. They're very like, my son literally rice, pasta, hot dogs, pizza. That's like his diet. So for us, getting the sit down meal plan wouldn't have been cost effective because we would have had to go and do the meal and then go buy him food because he wouldn't have ate the meals provided. So what we did do, we had the quick service dining plan, and then 2 days we really wanted to do Tusker House and Garden Grill. So we just, on those 2 days, we paid out of pocket for them, and then we'd do breakfast because I know he's going to eat pancakes, he's going to eat bacon, he's going to eat waffles. And when you're paying adult prices, I need him to eat something.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
As long as he eats anything.
I really want to, there's loads of restaurants I would love to have tried, but obviously when I'm going with the kids, because you pay for the experience, not the food that you're eating, it doesn't work out financially feasible for what to do it.
Yeah.
But in a couple of years, you never know, we'll get to try a few more places, hopefully.
Yeah, it's worth chatting to the cast members and the chef as well. Maybe go, look, this is what they'll eat. What can you do? Yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong, when we did Disneyland Paris when they were little, every restaurant went to, we said, look, you won't eat this, this or this, and they would make them a bowl of pasta with every meal, like a bowl of pasta every time. I just kind of begrudge paying $80 for a bowl of pasta.
That's the thing, isn't it? Yeah, you go, it's great that he's eating, but like...
it's like, okay. But yeah, so no, the TUI package was great. So we... it was flights from Newcastle, which is like 20 minutes from my house, so a very cheap taxi transfer. And then it was the flight, including the meals. We did pay extra for the extra leg room. And then it was the transfers, 2 weeks in Coronado, staying on site with the park tickets, the photo pass, and then obviously return transfer and then flights home, and included, I think it was 23 kilograms checked luggage and then 10 kilograms hand luggage as well. So more than enough luggage for the four of us. So yeah, I do recommend them because we had a lovely holiday, and like I say, booking was fine. And pricing it up, it wasn't any different than any other big kind of travel agents, to be fair. So
yeah. I want to find out all about your favourite things at Disney. I want to find out about the restaurants and the food and attractions and stuff. Becky's with us on the podcast. Back with Becky in just a moment. Got some news to fill you in. A lot of it came in a couple of weeks ago from D23 over at Walt Disney World. Not the big D23 that happens every other year in California, but the little D23 with a few little news updates. They're going to be repainting the castle. So Cinderella Castle at Magic Kingdom. You remember they repainted it for the 50th, kind of like with the golds and the bright blues. Well, it's going back to the original, more pastel shades. I like this version. I like the 50th version, but it's going back to the original. The other big stories, Walt Disney animatronic is going to be coming to the Carousel of Progress. So they're going to be kind of updating it a little bit, but not taking from the original. But the Walt talking animatronic that they've got over in Disneyland is going to be introducing us to his Carousel of Progress. Tron is getting an overlay. There's a new Tron film coming out, so we're getting a red overlay with a new song from Nine Inch Nails. That'll be soon, actually, from the 15th of September. We've got a few more details about Villains Land that's coming to the back of Magic Kingdom. They've been telling us they've been going on fact-finding expeditions, mostly around Paris and Barcelona. So from this, I think, with Barcelona, the architecture, the Gaudi architecture, I think they're going kind of like Gothic. So forget cartoony Villain Land. It's going to be more of a real Gothic, living, breathing. Remember when they were making Animal Kingdom? And Joe Rody visited Nepal to get a feel for what it's actually like. I think it's going to be that kind of real, living, breathing land over at Magic Kingdom Villains Land. We'll have a while to wait from that. So there's some of the things that came from D23. Apart from that, we have an official closing date for Dinosaur. Yes, all the work is going to be going over on Animal Kingdom. And Dinosaur will be closing early February. So your last ever chance to ride Dinosaur will be the 1st of February. So everything over there, the rest of Dino Land, from the 2nd of February is going to be closed. Good news is, though, if you like meeting the characters over there, Chip and Dale and those little cute dinosaur outfits, and Donald over at Donald's Dino Land, the characters will be moving to a new location at Animal Kingdom, so you will still get to meet the characters. One other story for you away from the parks is the price of ESTAs. Don't forget to get your ESTA, as we found out on this podcast. Don't forget your ESTA sorted. The price of that is going to be up to $40 at the end of this month. Any other news between now and the next podcast in a couple of weeks, make sure you follow us on the socials at PodMagical. So Becky's just back from Florida. She's on the podcast. Her husband only just made it to Florida. But you got there, Coronado, for a couple of weeks with the quick service dining plan. So where were your favourite places to eat?
So, in terms of sit-down meals, obviously this isn't included in the quick service dining plan, but we went to Garden Grill for breakfast and it was the best experience. Yeah. We've never done it before. Maybe that's why we liked it so much. The Revolving Restaurant, if you haven't been, it's based in Epcot in Living on the Land. Above the Living on the Land ride, and it basically kind of just rotates very slowly. It takes about an hour to do a full circle, and you basically go around the Living on the Land ride. You can feel the little bits. And we had this amazing server called Bob. If anyone's eaten at Garden Grill and had Bob before, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about. He was hilarious. The kids absolutely loved him. He just wound them up, which was great. And then as you're eating, you get Chip and Dale and Pluto and Mickey come around while you're having your meals and take pictures with you and kind of I'd say chat, do hand gestures and ask how things are going and stuff. And then the food for breakfast was amazing. So it's your typical waffles and Mickey waffles. They bring out a bowl of this. Oh, it was just incredible. This It was like a caramel cinnamon bread. I can't even explain it.
Changed that.
Oh, it
what
was
they used to have. Yeah.
This one, I don't know what it used to be like, but this was insane. Like, we had a bowl, and then my son was like, "Can I have some more?" So they brought my second bowl over, which is all included.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant. And then the fact they had watermelon, and my daughter's really fussy, but she loves a bit of watermelon. So she had 2 bowls of watermelon. So that was her very happy. And then the main meal obviously was the pancakes. There was eggs. There was these like potato hash type things, which were just delicious. And then bacon, and then steak. Now this steak, when I say it melted in your mouth, it was cooked perfectly. We like ours medium rare, so for us it was perfect. If you like it more well done, you need to let them know. But for us it just melted in your mouth. And then they came back over and said, "Can I have a little bit more steak, please?" And they brought like this massive skillet full of food. And I was like, I feel like I have to eat it because it's there. I'm really guilty because I've asked for more. But it was in terms of a sit-down restaurant, if you're looking for someone to do a character breakfast, that hands down was my favourite one we've ever done.
Yeah, I do love the fact that the characters come to you as well. It's not like going to a buffet where you kind of like going, "Is Mickey Mouse going to come? Have I got time to go and get some more?" Well, like, you just stay there and wait. Yeah,
this is it. So we did Tusker House this time. So the last time we did it in 22, it was family style. So they brought all the food to the table, which we loved because it was a skillet of food, obviously little different sample dishes, which was perfect for us. So we wanted to do it again this time, and it was obviously back to buffet. Now the food itself was delicious, the curries, the atmosphere, still really nice, but we got put in kind of like this little back room, and no characters came for an hour and like a full hour, and everyone was sitting there, people trying to pay and leave, and like, but we haven't even met a character, so the cast members were like running around, and then just as about to leave, all 4 characters came in at once. It just felt a little bit rushed and a bit like, was it right, stand there, smile, okay, Mickey's coming, right, stand next to Mickey. And it was just a little bit, I don't know, after we had such a lovely experience rushed. In 22, it just kind of like, it wasn't as good this time for us. So yeah, which was a bit of a shame. It was still lovely food, like really delicious food, but I think when you do character design, you do it for the characters, and if the characters don't come round, it kind of like spoils it a little bit.
What about your favourite quick service? Because if you had the quick service dining plan included, have you got a particular good that was best value?
There were so many of them that we tried this and I hadn't tried before, and I was trying to think before the best one. So for us, I would definitely recommend a place called Fairfax Fair, which is in Hollywood Studios, and they do a savoury waffle bowl. So it's a savoury waffle filled with mashed potato and then a different meat. So we had the Korean belly pork and the beef. I forgot what kind of beef it was, but it was a beef with like peppers and things, and it was really, really delicious. That was really good value. And then Columbia Harbour House in Magic Kingdom, you can get a lobster roll, which should be like $19, and that's included in the plan. Obviously Magic Kingdom's a dry park, so you don't get alcohol, but you can get the specialty drinks, or you can get like the soda or the like hot chocolates and teas and things like that. So definitely Columbia Harbour House for the lobster roll, and that salmon was delicious as well.
I totally forgot about quick service at Magic Kingdom not serving alcohol. I totally forgot about it. Because like the sit-down restaurants do, but the quick service don't, do they?
No, it's a dry park, so if you're not going to a sit-down restaurant, you can't get alcohol. But to be fair, we'd had that much at Epcot. And
You've been drinking around the world, Becky.
I did actually. I did a full drink around the world.
Did you do the full one?
Amazing. We did, but didn't do the UK because I just felt like I can do that when I come home. And we ended up missing Canada because the fireworks were starting, and we ended up going to Connections to get a cider to watch the fireworks with from Connections. So, but we did it. If anyone is wanting to do it with the dining plan, how we did it was we used meal credits. To get a meal, obviously, which came with a drink, and then me and my husband just shared like one alcoholic drink per country.
Good plan.
So like in Mexico, we got nachos, which came with an alcoholic drink. So we got a mango margarita, which was delicious, but it is very cold, as in it froze out. We took metal straws and it froze the metal straw to my lip. So just be careful. You're going to be drinking it, because that wasn't very good. And then we used snack credits to get some churros for the kids. And then in China, we got noodles for my son, and then we took the plum wine, which is, if you like alcohol, it was really delicious. Like, we weren't expecting it to be very nice, and it was lovely. That's one of probably my favourite drinks that we had, actually. So then, so when like America, we got a dish to share in America, which came with like the Tennessee whiskey, lemonade. So that's kind of how we.
That's a really good idea.
But like, so rather than getting a drink each and paying out of pocket, we got a meal to share, and use it as like a snack rather than a full meal. And then got a drink to taste as well. And we did out of pocket with both things, like some sangria in Morocco, and we bought the cider and Connections. But yeah, and even when the kids want a slice of pizza, we get a slice of pizza, and then we take the alcoholic drink because my kids like water. I know it sounds really daft because people don't really like the water in Florida. We really like it. Like, we had no issues with it.
Yeah,
it's free, exactly. And if they're happy drinking it, and occasionally we get like a slush. There you go.
I'm going to come with you next time.
I do like a bit of money saving hints and tips when I go to places like this, so I can make it feel like I'm doing a bit more for a bit less, if that makes sense.
What other tips have you got? I always like to find out what tips people have when they go to Disney World, obviously for saving money or anything else.
One of my big tips, always take a Ziploc bag.
Yeah.
I know it sounds really silly, but leftover food, leftover snacks, they'll save you money later on. You go on a water ride, stick your phone in it so it doesn't get damaged. If you get really wet, you can stick your ponchos in it after you've used your ponchos and your bag doesn't get wet. So a Ziploc bag is always something we have handy just in case.
Although you don't put everything in the same Ziploc bag. You don't want to shove your phone and your wet poncho in with your Mickey waffles that you left for breakfast.
I don't want a sticky straw touching, wet socks and stuff. So definitely take a few different ones. It's always handy. I'm trying to think. There's hints and tips. We do, I know people are going to go, oh no, I'm on holiday. We do a wash load. So rather than taking, because we wear I hate looking or smelling or feeling sweaty. So we change our t-shirts twice a day, like one in the morning, and then after we've had a pool break, we'll put a fresh one on for the night time. So rather than taking like 28 t-shirts each and spending a fortune, we take enough for the first 7 days, and then on our 7th day we'll have a pool day and we use the facilities to wash our clothes basically, and then have clean clothes for the next 7 days. So we'll have more space for souvenirs, and it's not expensive, and it's not if you compare how many clothes you'd have to buy otherwise, and people don't realise it's really quick and easy to do. It's like
because they've got massive washing machines and dryers.
Yeah. So like I can only speak for Coronach, so a place that we've stayed, but they have 4 different. So each little section of the resort has like there's the main tower, then there's like 3 villages they call them, and each village has its own laundry facilities, and then the tower has its own laundry facilities. So there wasn't any very queues, and I think it was like our one had 6 washing machines, but then it had 12 dryers. So obviously more people, the dryers take longer to dry than the clothes take to wash. Yeah. So it was really good, and it's all done through the app on your phone, so you don't have to take cash with you. You just use Apple Pay, and have vending machines which give out like detergent and softener. So it was that's, if you're trying to save space in your case and not spend as much on clothes, I would definitely recommend having a pool day and doing a bit of a wash while you're there.
I've done that on the last day, and then what you do when you get home, you open your suitcase when you get home and you just put it all away. Like you don't have a mountain really of washing. Yeah, I do. Although this time, just to throw caution, we had 2 dirty suitcases from the last week because we just go through loads of clothes, and then we had a clean suitcase, either stuff that would washed and not reused, or stuff that we'd taken because we're overpackers and hadn't used. And that suitcase, I don't know if it had been on the top when they'd been loading it on the plane, or something had been spilled, but that entire suitcase was soaked through. Clean stuff.
Yeah. Oh. So I had to wash all the clean stuff. Luckily, it wasn't a souvenir bag. We'll put those in a hard shell. Luckily, it was just like all the clean clothes, toiletries and stuff like that. And I don't know, I'm assuming it's rainwater because there was a massive storm when we were leaving. Oh, it could be they've left it all outside as they're loading up. I think so, yeah. I'm guessing ours might have been the last one on, or it was on the top one, they were waiting to load them on or whatever. It was just, you could tell it was just rainwater. Like, it didn't have any smell or anything like that. But just typically, it was our case that got the brunt of it all. Typically, you had a disaster at the start and the end of the holidays. Just not the middle, which is the best bit. So you were lucky. A bit north, so it was fine, yeah. What is your favourite attraction? And when I say attraction, it can be a ride or it can be a show or a parade. Do you know what? I love all of them. I think anything in Pandora, I think it's just so immersive. Flight of Passage is incredible. I'm going to say Smuggler's Run in Hollywood Studios is probably one of my favourites because it's a simulator. I don't really like roller coasters, but I love the roller coasters in Disney. I know that sounds really silly. So I'm going to say Smuggler's Run. And show-wise, we're just seeing the new Disney Villain show this time, and that was really good. The new one in Hollywood Studios. Oh, yeah. I've been avoiding this before my trip, so it's worth going. Yes, it's a very different kind of show. It's quite a quick show. It's only about 15, 18 minutes. Compared to like Beauty and the Beast and things that run a bit longer. But I think it's a different kind of show. There's a lot of screens involved, a lot of special effects are involved, and I think it's definitely worth the way to go and see it. So. And a sit down in some aircon. Yes, yeah. And I love Disney villains. Like, Disney villains are amazing. So I was a little bit gutted. I thought, I don't want to spoil it for you, but I thought they might have brought like a Hades out. Some of the more, rather than the obvious. So they bring the 3 characters who were on the stage singing at some points, and the rest are all like screens and things or projections and stuff, which is still really cool. I just would have liked to have seen a real Hades, but never mind. It's fine.
Nah. What did you think of the nighttime parade? Did you catch that at Magic Kingdom?
Do you know what? I didn't. I'm absolutely
No?
devastated. No. So the 2 nights we were in Magic Kingdom to watch it, the first one would manage to get a slot for Tron, and it ended up getting stuck in the queue for Tron, and so we missed it. And then by the 11 o'clock show, my kids were knackered, so we left. And then so last night on the Thursday, because of Friday was Mickey's. This is the thing going in August. The Halloween party start.
Yeah.
So instead of having 7 nights to see the show, you only have 4 nights to see the show.
And they get busy because everybody else
busy.
is missing the other nights as well.
Exactly, yeah. So it was really, so the first time I went to see it, you couldn't even get to the castle. Like, you couldn't get like near enough to the front unless you stood for like an hour. And again, as I said, my kids are neurospicy, so waiting around is just not something we can really do. So we planned the last night to do the 11 o'clock show, check the weather. Weather was fine. We managed to get, do you know if you go down towards Frontierland and there's like a popcorn stand next to Liberty Square?
I know exactly, yes.
Yeah, so you know the little tiny little barrier there, which only fits like 4 people?
Yeah.
Managed to get a spot there.
Good.
Sat ourselves down. Went to Sleepy Hollow, ordered some funnel cakes and some drinks to sit with for 20 minutes till the show started. It got to 10 to 11 and they announced they were going to cancel it because there was inclement weather forecast.
And did it rain or thunder? But it didn't, did it?
No. Devastated. So like 11, devastated. So then it's 11 o'clock. Everyone's leaving the park because the show's cancelled. The rides are finishing. Everyone's going home for the night. So then trying to get the bus was a bit of a chore. But I think thing happened for a reason. As we got back to the hotel at about 11:15, we actually managed to watch. There was a SpaceX rocket launch.
Oh, right, yeah.
And we're seeing it from as we're walking into the balcony of the hotel. We're seeing it, and we got to watch that. Now, my husband, who's a massive space fan, he's always wanting to watch a rocket launch, was buzzing. So as much as I'm gutted I missed what I wanted to do, he got to see something he's never seen before. So,
yeah,
we'll take that.
Isn't it? Did you go to the Halloween party, or were you too expensive?
I didn't.
No.
I did in 2022.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be a bit controversial here. I don't think it's worth the money.
It's a lot of money for 5 hours.
I think because, again, this isn't trying to be an excuse with my kids being the way they are. When we did it in 2022, they were very fixated on how we did routines in the park. So they wanted to do the rides. And I kept saying, we can do the rides anytime, let's go watch the show. And I think because there's only kind of one, at the time was one Sanderson Sister show, one fireworks show, one parade, everyone was like piling to get to them. So as much as the park is much quieter, which it obviously is because it's a private event, it's a much smaller number of guests, everyone goes to the same events at the same time to see them. So crowd-wise, it was crazy. And then we're queued, because at the time it was just post-COVID when we first went. Things like Ariel, my daughter's favourite princess, wasn't doing meet and greets, but she was at the Halloween party. So I ended up queuing for nearly 90 minutes to meet Ariel.
Yeah, the character queues for other parties can get really long.
It was crazy. And the same with Jack Sparrow. He took about 45 minutes and he was well worth the wait. He was hilarious. He chatted for ages with probably why the queue was so big. But he was brilliant. It was really good interaction. But again, so it was a 5-hour party. We spent, our choice, I know it was, we spent over 2.5 hours queuing to meet characters. So it was a bit like, and then we did get plenty of sweets to say. Trick-or-treated around the park was brilliant because I love Halloween. But I know this year, I think they've started putting more and more things back in. I think there was more villains this year. There was a few more shows on this year. So I think the party would have been better if I had done it this time. But because we've done it once, it was like, we've done it. Do we have the money to spend?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So instead,
just to kind of like be a bit controversial, we actually used the money to book a night at the Hard Rock. I
was going to ask if you went anywhere else. So you went over to Universal.
So we did. So we haven't done Universal ever before. And again, my kids don't do rides. They don't do big roller coasters. So we chose to just book through an independent ticket agent. We booked a 1-day 2-park hopper to do Island of Adventure and Universal Studios.
Right.
Because our goal was just to do Harry Potter, basically.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
So what we did was we looked at the what they call the fast passes, and I think for the day we wanted to go, it was going to cost $800 for the 4 tickets because the kids are classed as adults. And about 2 weeks before I went, maybe 3 weeks before I went, I had a look on there because they have, I know you'll know this, but some people might not. They have signature hotels, which is their version of deluxe hotels.
Yeah.
And if you book certain signature hotels, it comes with free unlimited fast passes. So the actual Hard Rock Hotel for the night, including 4 adult free fast passes for 2 days, was £400. So it was
way
like,
cheaper than what you would have paid.
I know.
And you don't have to worry about getting an Uber there and back or whatever.
Exactly. So it was like, oh, what? And I was like, I'm just going to book it. I'm just going to book it. Because we're going to have a look at that. Kind of like their value hotels, which looked lovely, just so we could go the night before. Because again, all my kids, I wanted to get there the night before, or let them have a little bit of time on City Walk, and just so we ended up at like 6 a.m, rushing to get the parks and everything. And then when this offer came up, I was like, I think we just have to book it. So we did, and we treated ourselves, and it was amazing. I really highly recommend the Hard Rock. If you can spend a little bit extra cash to get that hotel, it's 100% worth it. It was literally, we timed it. It took 18 minutes to walk from Universal Studios to our hotel room at Hard Rock, like walking, no transport needed.
They open a little bit earlier as well, don't they?
They do, yeah. So if you stay on site, you can get in at 8 a.m. instead of 9 a.m. So we were in walking into not, is it Hogsmeade? Which one? No, into Hogsmeade.
Yeah.
Our adventure by 8:05 on the Tuesday morning. And we got walked on without using the passes, walked on to Forbidden Journey. Is that the first one? Yeah, Forbidden Journey.
Yeah.
And my daughter loved it, and because of the fast passes, she did that 2 more times. So
straight on.
So my husband took my son on Hagrid's, and while they were on that, we got a frozen butterbeer, and then went on to Forbidden Journey again, and then we did I forgot what it's called, the Griffin ride, which was
the smaller one. Yeah. Well,
it was
a bit of a
cute,
squash.
It was,
if you're quite tall, it's a bit of a squash on the knees. That one,
especially with the nets. I was like, why is there a net on my legs? But obviously, it's for their bag policy.
Yeah.
But it was, but that was fine. And even my daughter was like, that was a bit of a small ride, but not do that one again. I was like, okay, that's fine.
Done it once.
And then we're switching. I took my son back onto Hagrid's, which you can now use your fast passes for. But even with the fast passes, it was about a 45-minute wait.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, even with fast passes. So whereas Forbidden Journey was with fast passes was maybe a 10-minute wait. But then the actual ride for Hagrid's was about 2 hours if you didn't have a fast pass.
It was a great attraction though, the Hagrid.
Oh, it was amazing. Absolutely. Like it was so, like, I'm pleased I didn't take my daughter on it. Because I think she would have absolutely just been non-existent anymore.
Right, yeah. She would have lost the plot.
But yeah, no, it was really good. Then we went down and met Blue in Jurassic World. That was great. Tried to eat my son, which was hilarious. And then did a few rides around Island of Adventure, and then at about 1 o'clock we got the Hogwarts Express over to Studios, did kind of the Bourne Show, did Simpsons Land, Men in Black, did the Harry Potter side there. The Escape from Gringotts was amazing. Like, that was, my daughter wasn't a massive fan of that one because it was more roller coaster type, but she did it. Yeah, and she survived it. But she definitely preferred the first ride. And then we left at about 7:30 because we were just knackered, but we'd done literally everything we wanted to do. We'd done all the rides we wanted to do, seen the few shows we wanted to do. And I will say, if you have children or even adults in your party who are neurodiverse or struggle, Universal were brilliant with them. Especially when to see the Cat in the Hat. It was like a meet and greet. And they were amazing, getting her to like feel the tail and everything, and showing them their pin badges and stuff to distract her. So I was really impressed with them for that side of stuff. So.
And what about Disney? Did you use the DAS pass for them at the Disney
We did,
park?
yes, yeah. Both children qualified. So what we did was we just used it for my son. Because what they were explaining was if we had 2 DAS passes, then I would have to link to one and my husband would have to link to one, so we'd have to book 2 at the same time, and it meant that we might not get on at the same time, and to be fair, we all did things the same anyway, so for us having the one was enough. And it was really good. I mean, I know people have complained about kind of who qualifies for it, and then how the system's changed now, so it's not as I'm trying to think of the right word for this. So when we originally had it in 2022, you'd basically go on a ride. As soon as you scanned your ticket, you could then book another ride. You've now got to wait 10 minutes, which I personally think is fair. Like, we're not trying to jump queues. We're not trying to push in. My children just can't queue conventionally. So for us, what you basically do was, if a ride was, say, 2 hours, you would go on, you'd select the ride, it would give you say 2 hours, there was no rides more than an hour when we went, so it would give you a time to come back, and then you were able to go back to that ride any time from, say it was 1 o'clock until park close. You didn't have to be there at 1 o'clock. You could come back between 1 o'clock or 10:30 if you wanted to.
Yeah, but just in case.
Yeah, but then you couldn't use the DAS for any other rides
until you've used that one.
Fair enough. Again, it's fair. Like I say, we're not we didn't want to queue jump or, you still have to wait your time. You just don't wait in the queue.
I was going to say, you're not actually queue jumping because you're still waiting.
No,
if it's an hour, you've still got to wait an hour. It just means you don't have to stand there.
Exactly, it just means that. So there was one situation where, and we won't mind us sharing, so we'd waited to go on Remy's Ratatouille ride in Epcot, and we got second from the front, and bless this poor child, brought back his lunch, shall we say, everywhere, everywhere. But rather than stopping the queue instantly and getting people out, the left was stand there for 10 minutes. So by this point, the entire lightning lane was chocker. So then what they did was everyone turned around and then they walked people from the lightning lane into the single rider lane. But it meant that people at the back who just joined were then at the front. And us who were at the front. So we'd already waited 20 minutes at this point, and then it was another 20, 25 minutes to get the front. And by the time I got the front, my daughter was so dysregulated. She didn't even want to do the ride. She got on but had her head down, and then it took a good hour when we got off to kind of bring her back around. And this is what people don't kind of realize when people have got the DAS. It's for a reason. It's because if that was every ride, we wouldn't go on any ride.
You probably wouldn't even go. You go, let's not. So it was
like went to see Darth Vader, and you can't use your DAS for that, but it's quite an open place, and it was only a 15-minute wait, so that was fine. But she really wanted to speak to him, but she suffers with selective mutism, so she can't. There was occasions where she has it in her head what she's going to say, but her body and her mouth physically won't say it. And she went to see, and she's been practicing for months. All she's going to say is "Hi, Anakin," just to get a reaction because she wanted to see what he would do. And we're in there a good 5 minutes, and she couldn't say it. And then we came out, and there was about 20 minutes where she just sat in the corner sobbing because she'd been waiting so long to meet him, months, because she'd been so excited, and she just couldn't do it. So we sat there for 20 minutes, and then we had to go and distract her. So we didn't go on another ride for another maybe 2 hours, because just to try and get her regulated again. And that's the side that people don't kind of see as to why people have the DAS, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing that, because a lot of people will not understand what you as a parent have to go through.
No, and it's not. And we don't really talk about it very much because, people say, oh, you get a lot of stick for it, and you do. And as I was in actually when we came out, there was a follower from TikTok, I think Instagram, sorry, and she stopped us and said, I love your videos, and we're chatting for a little bit, and I was in the corner crying, and she messaged later on saying, look, I work in SEN school, I totally get it. My husband was like, I'm really confused why she's sad about meeting Darth Vader if she loves Darth Vader. So she was able to explain everything and about the overwhelmingness, and then when things don't go as planned, and how difficult it can with dealing with the emotions. So it was quite nice that she was able to explain that. But there'll be a lot of people in the parks who just see a 13-year-old in the corner crying and don't understand what on earth the problem is. Do you know what I mean? So yeah,
next time. Oh, actually no, because he won't be there, will he? Because Star Wars, what's that area called?
Oh yes, it's been reimagined, isn't it?
What's it called? It's Launch Bay. Yeah, it's closing down any day now. It's going to be closing.
Because is that where they're going to make Monsters Inc? Is that where that's
no,
going?
Monsters Inc.'s going over Muppets Courtyard.
Right.
And it's going to be a new animation courtyard. Is going to be
that's
where.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
It's based on the short they made, isn't it? The short.
That's right, for the 100th.
Yes. Yeah. That'll be lovely, though. That'll be really nice.
It's nice to bring that animation back to that side of the park.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of construction over there.
To be honest, I did notice when we were there was a lot of Galway green. As they call it.
Yeah, there's that paint up.
There was I mean, to be fair, we didn't even. I see that we noticed it because I was looking for it. But you could kind of tell they're doing a lot of the parks right now. If you weren't looking for it, I don't think you would notice it. And if you hadn't been before and knew what was originally there, you wouldn't miss it. They've done it really well. But yes, there is a lot going to be going on, which is good.
Because obviously Tom Sawyer Island's closed now. Had that all been drained off when you were there? Was it all empty?
No, it was still full of water. You couldn't get on the boat or anything or access it, but it was still. It just looked like the boats weren't running when we were there.
Yeah. Okay.
And obviously, I was really sad for my son because his favourite ride last time was Runaway, the train.
Big Thunder.
Big Thunder Mountain, that was it. I couldn't think of the name of it. Big Thunder Mountain. So he was really looking forward to that this time, and obviously it closed, and it's closed for a long time. But if you hadn't been before, when you get to Tiana's, you wouldn't even know there was a ride there, or that they're doing work behind it. They do it so well. So big up on that. I don't know if you've seen the latest concept art that they've released. It looks amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Good stuff coming.
Definitely.
Do you have a particular favourite Disney World memory? From this trip or previous?
I've got lots. I think this most recent one was actually our last full day. We did we weren't supposed to go to Magic Kingdom in the morning, but my daughter the night before finally agreed to do Tron and loved it, so wanted to do it again. So we do have a bit of a plan and itinerary, but we changed the plan. So in the morning we did 2 hours at Magic Kingdom before going across to Hollywood Studios. And when we were there, it started raining, and I said, look, let's nip in and meet Mickey Mouse in City Hall, which we've never done before. See what it's like, have a little bit of a chat with him, it'll be great. And it was the sweetest character encounter I think I've ever had. So
Yeah.
he was great with the kids. He was high-fiving me son and shaking his hand, giving me daughter cuddles. And he kind of pointed to me and gives a thumbs up. And I said, I'm a little bit sad, actually, Mickey. I said, it's the last day. And I said, I really don't want to come home. And he literally ran to us and gave us the biggest, and nothing's really cheesy, the biggest hug, but it felt like the meant the hug. It wasn't just give us a hug, hi. It felt like they were like, it just it gave us all the feels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just felt so lovely after it. And I thought, do you know what? This is why we do it. And that couple of seconds of just pure joy. And that was probably from this one of my favourite memories from this one, to be fair. So I did love it.
If you had your perfect day at Walt Disney World, not your only day, your perfect day, staying where you want, eating what you want, doing what you want, talk me through what you would do in your perfect Disney World day.
Okay, so I'm thinking we're going to get up early-ish and not rope drop. We're going to go in a bit later on and have a breakfast at probably Friar Nook's, because I love the breakfast tots. They're amazing.
Yeah.
And then we would head to things like Haunted Mansion, and because I love Haunted Mansion, and meet a few of the characters around Princess Pavilion maybe. And then would park up, I think, across to Hollywood Studios, mainly because I couldn't not have a day where I don't go to Woody's Lunchbox and get that.
What is it you like there?
Oh, I love that bowl. It's that, what do you call it? That topped tots.
Oh, tater tots.
Tater tots, yeah, where it has the chili on and the sour cream.
Okay.
And then the adult lemonade is also very tasty. I do recommend that. And the grilled cheese sandwich, which your daughter loves, so that's always a winner. And then we'd do a couple of hours at Galaxy's Edge because I couldn't not go see Star Wars stuff. And then we'd go back to the hotel to have a pool swim, to burn a bit of steam off.
Yeah.
Not on the perfect day, that's just not a day. Have a little bit of time in the room, and then we'd get ready and head back in to Epcot for the night and have a few drinks around the world, and then just sit and chill and watch the fireworks from Epcot because, getting controversial, I prefer the Epcot fireworks over Magic Kingdom. I think that's stunning. I know, but I think they're stunning. So yeah, and then we'd go back and have an early-ish night. So
sounds delightful. I like the sound of it. We can follow all your journeys on Instagram and TikTok. How do we find you? Where are you?
So if you Google Becky the Geordie Disney Ma, that's me. Same username on Instagram and on TikTok. You'll see us there with me little Disney stuff in my profile picture, and it's basically just hints and tips, information, things that have gone wrong for us so it doesn't go wrong for you. Learn from my mistakes, and I make a lot of them.
Check your ESTA. Double check it.
Yeah, so it's literally just Becky the Geordie Disney Ma, and you'll find us. So I love people asking us questions, and I try to answer every single comment. I try to answer every single DM, because I just think, I know the reason I started the page was because when I went in 2022, it was so overwhelming and quite frankly stressful planning it and then trying to organise everything. And when I came back, I thought I want to use what I've learned to help others so they don't have the same stress. Yeah. And then the page kind of went from there, and that's kind of what I do now. So
awesome.
Yeah.
We'll follow. We'll see all the food that you had from those quick
Oh yes, I did.
A lot. Have a look through that reel. There's a lot on there.
There's a lot on
Becky,
there.
lovely chatting to you, and have a magical day.
Thanks, you too.
Thanks again to Becky. If you would like to join me on the podcast for a chat about all things Disney World, your favourite attractions, how would you spend your perfect day? Let me know. You don't have to have just been to Disney World. You don't have to be just going. You might have not been for years. Still love to get you on for a chat. At PodMagical, send me a message. We'll sort out a time to get you on. If you are going to be going over the next few weeks, well, we are well and truly into the fall. We're into Halloween season. We've got food and wine going on over at Epcot. Some of the live performances for Eat to the Beat include Starship this weekend, who I saw last year. They were really good, actually, Mickey Thomas and Starship. Sheila E. Next weekend, if you're an 80s music fan, do you remember a song called The Belle of St. Mark? Great song. That was Sheila E. She'll be at Epcot next weekend, followed by Tiffany on the 26th and 22nd. Other live music, by the way. If you're going over to the House of Blues at Disney Springs, Franz Ferdinand are going to be there on Wednesday the 24th. New times for the nighttime parade over at Magic Kingdom, that brand new Starlight Parade. Because it's getting darker a little bit earlier, it's moving times later this week for the rest of the year, I guess. So 8 o'clock and then 10 o'clock. Happily Ever After, I think, stays around 9 o'clock. So you've got parade at 8, Happily Ever After at 9, parade at 10. Remember, when there is a Halloween party on and a Christmas party, there will be no Happily Ever After, because if you haven't got a ticket for the Halloween party, you get kicked out. And there's different fireworks for the Halloween party. So no parades and fireworks during Halloween parties. That means those in-between nights, when there isn't a Halloween party on, Magic Kingdom will be busy in the evening for the fireworks and the nighttime parade, so just remember that. Quick reminder about the Orlando Magical Dining offer that runs till the end of September. I've mentioned this on the last few podcasts, just because it's a really good deal. There's dozens and dozens and dozens of restaurants over in Orlando, many of which are at Disney Springs. They've got some set menus for a discount price. Some of the profits for that go to charities around Florida. So do have a look at that one. Just check out the website. I'll share it again. It's called Magical Dining. And you can have a look at the restaurants that are getting involved in that and have a look at some of the menus, like set menus, but like $30, $40. Really good. Finally, for this episode, I have a top tip to end on. Is a free thing, a free souvenir that you can get, exclusive souvenirs. Transport cards. Have you remembered this? So you can collect official Walt Disney World transportation collector cards. Now, if you ask a cast member, ask very nicely whether they're working on the buses or the monorails or the boats or the Skyliner. These cards are free. They're limited, so availability is limited. There's no guarantee of getting them, but every mode of transport has got a particular photo on it and a kind of like a do you know fact on the back. So whether it's the bus, the boat, the Skyliner, the monorail, if you ask cast members nicely about the free collector transport card and then get the kids to collect them on all the different modes of transport. See if you can get one from each during your visit. And it's free and it's a souvenir and you can keep forever. Any more tips that you might have, or if you'd like to be a podcast guest, at PodMagical, give us a follow and a like and across all the socials. And remember as well, if you know somebody who wants to listen to the podcast, you want to listen via YouTube, there's no visuals on there, but you can still listen via YouTube as well. We are on there. At PodMagical, that's where you can find us, back with a brand new episode 2 weeks from now. And then I'm going to go over to Disney World to complete my 6 castles in 1 year. Follow us on the socials. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. And until next time, please stand clear of the doors.